by UNSW's iCinema research group. So the idea behind this iFire system is it takes mathematical spread models from different fires and then puts it into a 3D visualization system. So it's currently being used by New South Wales Fire and Rescue for training their firefighting personnel. What we have here is more of a mobile setup, which is just a screen, and then with the goggles it will become 3D. But at the actual training facility, it's a full 360 immersive system. And I will let you guys know that because it's 3D, some of you might feel a bit of motion sickness. Just close your eyes if that happens, if you feel like you need to step outside, do it, but we haven't had anyone collapse so far. So before I start the video, we're going to have 4 different short videos here. They're run for about 15 minutes altogether. The first couple of videos are from 2 past fires. They're recreation of historical fires from South Australia and Victoria. One of them is in a pine plantation. The other one is a grassland fire. And then the next 2 videos or clips are from the training modules that the UNSW Fire and Rescue train on. So let me start the video here and let me know if your goggles are working and I'll take a look. So if you press that button on the top left in the corner of your glasses, that should now become more immersive. Is that working for everyone? On the left. Yeah. Are the glasses working for everyone?
Yes.
Alright, so this is a pine plantation fire from South Australia in 2020.
You touch it. I think when you touch it.
Right now we're at a ground level. In a moment we're going to take a bird's eye view to take a look at the fire. the training modules for the New South Wales Fire and Rescue. This module is designed around situational awareness. So this is a typical wildland-urban interface where you have human development next to wildland. Many of you are probably familiar with the Australian fire danger rating system, which is this red, green, yellow meter or gauge that you see when you're driving along a highway. We'll pop up in a second on the left here. So each band of that fire danger rating meter that corresponds to some level of action that you need to take. For example, right now it's high, which means you should be ready to act should there be a fire.
We do this and I move back
Goes up
and
to
forth.
catastrophic. So the 2019-2020 bushfire season, that was the catastrophic level fire.
Kirby, look, if you look up the wall, it looks like I'm going to go that way.
Notice that everything seems normal. There's not really much risk that you can see from the ground level. There's a bit of a smoke on the top left, which indicates there might be a fire somewhere. Now start taking a bird's eye view, get a better assessment of the situation. Here we pass a set of risk factors. Power lines are quite risky because if they break, they can start another fire and they can seriously injure ground personnel. As we go up, we can kind of see that there is a grass fire that's approaching this bit of wildland here.
That's why I'm never
See a lot of embers flying around. Embers are known to cause secondary fires. So in situations like this, the residents here need to keep in mind that they need safe egress. So for this property here, there are 3 roads that lead away from the property. And there's 2 on the paved surface and 1 through the dirt road, through that dirt road there. And judging by how the embers are flowing towards the right, that dirt road might not be a good choice. The fire has now transitioned into a ground fire. It's quickly approaching the property here. We still don't see any ground crew here fighting the fire. Australia is a big country and it has limited resources, so it's not always possible to get to a fire again. In situations like this, we have aerial support that can come in and provide us a bit of fire. See a helicopter approaching from the right hand side. Do something called a water drop. A successful water drop doesn't always guarantee that the fire is completely out. It just suppresses the fire long enough for the ground to show up and start fighting. That even though it was quite a successful water drop, you have very efficient fire starting to come back. Embers have been identified as the because they can travel hundreds and thousands of meters ahead of the actual fire front and start something called a spot fire, which just has happened. You look at the background, there's a new fire there, which is quite a bit away from the actual fire front. It's starting to grow. Far of the driveway, which means the residents are probably still unaware of that new fire approaching their house. Right now, the wind is quite consistent. It's moving from the south towards the north about 15 knots, which is roughly 30 km an hour.
South, and I forgot that. I did this way.
That spot fire in the back has now grown quite a bit. Here we can see a firefighter talking to the residents, asking them to leave the property because it's getting out of control. In past fire events in New South Wales, about 60% of the residents didn't leave their houses. And that's understandable, their sentiments around their property and their belongings. But sometimes it's important to get out of time to utilize fire. You can see the firefighters working on that fire on the ground. In New South Wales, every fire truck has 5 reports. They're working there. There's 2 in that fight the fire. The residents are now leaving the property of their choice. Now the wind has changed direction. It's now going quite the opposite direction, coming from northwest towards the southwest, and is now much faster, 25 knots, which is roughly 45 kilometers an hour. It just means fire. I have a drone available. Drones are being used quite a lot in firefighting operations to gather more intelligence on fire. Right now, we don't really know what the Seems like most of the fires are now under control. The perspectives are always in constant communication with the base. Yeah, getting into it and all these sorts of notice that even though the fires are now under control, the crew is still putting a lot of order. This is called an warm-up. And in the recent Los Angeles fires, we noticed that the fires can travel underground. The roots of the trees can catch on fire, and then the fire can travel underground and pop up somewhere 500 meters away, probably 3 days later. So it's important you make that soil as wet as possible to stop that from happening. So that was the end of our videos. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for being here.
So hi everyone, in front of the Canberra Centre's shopping mall, where you have seen the UNSW's University of New South Wales Ignite, where you could actually, like, in a 3D mode with 3D glasses, you could have an experience of like some different types of fire. It was really good. It was free. It was 25 or 50, I would say 20 minutes. It was really huge. And then and this is the main entrance of the Canberra Centre. There is a fountain. I think it's called the Canberra Times Fountain. I would say that some carousels places or pieces. Yeah, and then in that direction we have the National Art Museum, I would say. Yeah, and then now, like, there is a blood donor center here. Sometimes you can find them in around Canberra, not too frequently, but yeah, sometimes. And then here it is like a walking street. As you can see, BR City Centre. So this is the city centre, the civic. And one thing that you can notice, there are no skyscrapers, since it is not Sydney or Melbourne or any other cities. Some coffee shops, like this one, really good and an interesting one. Yeah, so it is all these, I think it is vinyl discs, or I don't know how to call them. These all types of disc. So if you are going to this direction, there are some lights. This is not because of the enlighten. So yeah, so it is the city centre of Canberra. Yeah, that's the nowadays the new circle, or how do you call that? Yes, carousel. Sorry, carousel. Yeah, a lot of these English words are a bit hard to actually say. Not every word, but there are some which, for me, it is a bit hard to actually pronounce, like the carousel. Sheeps has a lot of like all over Australia, sheeps were a thing. There were a lot of sheep, like sheep places, sheep farms all over Australia. But because of the like the, how do you call it? The industrialism, modernization, city having built, these farms are just a thing. So they are less. There are actually none, I would say, sheep farm anymore. And then, yes, this is the carousel. there is like a little bit of history, so a lot of yeah. Oh, look at this picture, wow, really old, like look at all these cars. Yeah, I would say it is actually here in Canberra, but not too sure. Yeah, but nowadays it is, I think it is the same one, but a bit more like renovated maybe. Yeah, because as you can see on top, it's a bit, how do I say, old one. And then there are some other statues here next to the Canberra Centres, because this is the, I mean this is not the Canberra Centre anymore, but this side and then all over the buildings in front of me are actually the Canberra Centre's place, or Canberra Centre. And then, yeah, so these are the Icarus series. If you want to read it, then I will actually zoom in for you guys, so you can pause and then you can read if you want to. So yeah, this actually reminds me, I don't know if you have seen, I mean I have actually, I think, showed you some places like this one, like a Western style buildings. Yeah, here in Canberra you can find what much less than in Sydney, Melbourne, or any of the other cities in Australia. Even in Queanbeyan, which is actually next to Canberra in New South Wales, much smaller city, but it has all the Western style buildings, the old Western style buildings. So here in Canberra you can find street art as well, not just in Kuala Lumpur. If you remember my Kuala Lumpur's videos, then you will, if not, then I really recommend checking out. Yeah, but compared to this one, that is much dirtier than this one. Yeah, a lot of frogs, lizards, some texts. Yeah, really beautiful ones. Yeah, really beautiful ones. And then there are some Marvels. So as you can see, Batman, Hulk, even Star Wars, and Death Globe, or how do you call that? And the Trooper. Yeah, so just showcasing you that not just Kuala Lumpur, not just Southeast Asia has, how do you call them, street art. Australia has street art as well. So there is another statue with one of the most iconic Australian birds, the magpie, who is eating French fries or chips, depending on the English language you are using. And there is like only magpies can stand on them, no climbing, so people can't. Yeah, if you have seen my Sydney video not too long ago, then you know why it is eating French fries, or chips, one piece of chips. If not, then I really recommend also checking that out. I have uploaded it 2-3 days ago, so yeah, so I recommend checking it out as well. This street is actually like divided by the road where you can drive by cars. There's another statue here with beautiful flowers in front of it. Wow, really beautiful, like this purple one. Yeah. So this one, I'm sure it has a name somewhere. If not, then I'm gonna do some research. Or another thing, I could actually ask the AI what I can see here. Now there is a plague. David Jens life cycle. Yeah, so if you want to read it, then you can stop and read it. So this is life cycle, and there are full of like these cafes, small restaurants. Yeah, so these all, and also some of the like some other shops. I don't know what exactly. Another entrance to the Canberra Centre. Yeah, so Canberra Centre has at least 10 or maybe 5 entrance. Yes, as you can see, clothes shops, health shop, some chemists, yeah, some food. Yeah, so there are a lot of gelato as well. Yeah, this one, another gelato, the Via Dolce, which is actually in front of us. These two are actually we have actually tasted them, and they're really delicious one. These two, the Anita Gelato, as well as the Via Dolce. They are really beautiful, and they are really they have really good ice cream here you can buy. But this one you can actually buy the pizza as well, not just ice cream. So that's the walking street again with another statue. Some palm trees, which is not really a thing here in Canberra. That is way colder than any of these cities, except Tasmania. Tasmania is even more colder. And then you can see a lot of events. There's actually a magpie on the table eating the leftovers, which is not healthy for them, but this is what sadly this the city population is actually so this growing cities actually made me actually, so that's what cities made these magpies sadly to eat trash. Sadly, there are Aboriginal art site. Yeah, and then it is a pillow, so you can actually sit on it. They're really beautiful, and they have really good lights on up. So really beautiful ones, and a lot of birds, mostly pigeons. And yeah, so this is, I would say, this is some things you can find here. Some statues, some food, some shops, and a lot of birds. And in the night, as you can see, they are full of lights. And this is not because of the enlighten, it is always this. And how they have this unique colored sidewalk, pavement as well. Yeah, they want to recreate some rainforest trees, plants, some palm trees. Yeah, so I mean, they can live here if they are actually watered enough. Then, yeah, they can actually live here. So if we have been to the world's largest Lego store, then why not in Canberra's? So you can see the test traveler in the background. Here you can find a kangaroo. You can meet a person with selfieing. Yes, it is much smaller, but still, and the only one in Canberra. So yeah, you can find mostly the same things as in Sydney, but in a much smaller, in a much smaller place.